Hello Minecraftians, this is Bad Boy Halo with the Saints Games and welcome to a Minecraft tips video. And this one is all about crafting tips. So we're going to talk about just little crafting tips to help speed up your crafting so you can spend less time at the workbench and more time killing people. Here we go. Let's start off with the first tip. So you're in the game, you've gone up to a tree, you got your wood, you turn it into planks, but now you're going to start. You don't just make a workbench like that. No, that's wimpy. Don't do that. What you want to do first is you go bam, workbench, but you also scrape down for sticks. That way, bam, you've got the resources you need immediately to make a pick and make swords and junk. You don't have to take the extra step and open up this now and then go to make sticks. That's just pointless. Don't do that. Just make the sticks with the same time. That's tip number one. Tip number two is shovels and other tools. So when you're going to craft your pick and stuff, don't just be all like, and then make a pick. Don't do that, because what if you need a shovel? Let's say you're one of those people that needs a shovel as well, so you just scrape down, you got double planks, bam. Now you can just click, and you got both of those items very quick, just like that. So you can do that, or there's also another one, like let's say you're a cultivator, and you want to go up to a tree to get some other stuff, so you can also go bam, axe, and bam, hoe, and that'll give you an axe and a hoe, or you can, instead of doing that, you go axe, and you can go axe and shovel, and that'll give you an axe and a shovel. So there's all tons of little tricks like that that'll hopefully be helpful to you, just for getting multiple tools at the same time. Very good trick there. Alright, for getting bowls quickly. Now, what I used to do, and a lot of people used to do this too, they'd go like bum, or not like that. They wouldn't do that. They'd be all like, dun dun, or dun 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 dun, click a bunch, or if they wouldn't click there, but they'd click down there, and that's not good. The trick that I get, or people ask me a lot in the comments section, they're always like, how do you do that? And the secret is this. It also depends on your configurations and your controls, but basically hold down your left mouse button and just drag across like that, and it will evenly stack them up in your inventory. Then you just hold down the shift button, and the tip, once you do that, you move that there, hold down the shift button, bam! There's your soup bowls. You now have plenty of them on your inventory, just everywhere. So that is that tip. Just keep that in mind. Just easy way to make the soup bowls. Now, so you made your soup, you're in the middle of the fight, you've used up all your stuff, you're fighting your opponent. Oh no, now you've got a hotbar full of bowls. How do you get rid of them quickly? Well, let's say that you didn't, quick drop them. So you got all these suckers here. You just open your inventory up, find an empty bowl. So what you can do is you can keep it right here, because that's the closest spot. Just keep an empty bowl right there. And then you just open your inventory, double click like that, all the bowls go there. It'll make little stacks. And if you've got any leftovers, you can turn those into a stack as well. And then bam, very easy way to clear the bowls out. I'm just giving you guys inventory tricks. You may know all these, or you may not. Let me know. But yeah, very simple little bowl trick, easy to do. Alright, now one of my favorites. This is, let's say you're going to craft soup, you're in a fight, you've run out of soup, you gotta go make soup. So you go like this, put your soup there, put your soup there, put your soup there. If I do this, and I click this button, all of my slots are now going to be filled up with soup, and all of leftover mushrooms, leftover bowls here. But I don't want that. I don't want to have leftover bowls there, because then that takes away from, the stuff that I can use, basically. I now have to drop some soup. An easy way to solve this, and a very easy tip, is just drop a bowl, drop a mushy, and drop a mushy as well. And then you make your soup, and look at that. I can toggle or click all of my leftovers back into my inventory. I don't have to make space for them by kicking soup out. So very, very awesome tip there. That one's one of my favorites. Just totally really helps you, especially in a fight. Just save that extra step in, you don't want to lose the spare mushies, because if the fight goes on for a really long time, you're going to be in a bad spot, and that's no good. Alright, so let's get rid of some of that. Alright, so now you've mined a bunch of iron, time to cook it. So you go to make your furnaces, so you're like, maybe you either do this, or maybe you're just random clicking around, but you don't want to do that. We've already looked into this. What you want to do is you take it, just left click, bam, 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 8 furnaces with a stack, and it takes you like a second to make. No more of that having to sit there and just go bam, bam, bam. And a lot of this, or the dragging and stuff, comes from the recent updates. So just remember, left click evenly divides as long as you spread out. And then right click will do just a single one, and then you lift up. You can go around several times. So that's what right click is for. Okay, for when you don't want to spread. So let's say you've made your furnaces, you cook your iron, you're good, you've got your iron ready to go, you got it cooked. Now it's time to get to crafting. What do? Do you just immediately start in and just start, crafting, like, be like, okay, I've got pants, and then click those out? No, you don't do that. Why do that when you can save time? And this is especially important. Let's say someone's digging down to me. I'm like, oh man, someone's about to attack me. I don't want to have to make each item individually. No, you go in, you go up, do helmet, and then you make your boots at the same time. Bam, bam, bam. And then you right click to put them on you, and you're good. You've got a bunch of armor on, and you can go in and finish the chest plate off. But you can also make a helmet, and you can make boots in here as well. So you can also do that same little trick with this if you want to do chest plate helmet boots instead of pants helmet boots. But anyway, that's just a little tip there. Okay, now time for an armor tip, and I will put a little, or the information for this specifically in the description, and I might put it even up on the video. But basically I calculated, and I know it sounds weird, but I looked at the damage that is done with an iron sword based on the armor that you have on. And what I came to the conclusion is I basically came up with the different amounts of armor that you should, go for based on how much armor you have. But the basic fundamental idea is never, ever, 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 ever make a helmet ever again unless you have enough iron to make a full set of iron. Because a helmet, like, look, let's analyze the helmet. So helmet, or iron boots, look at that. Iron boots, normal, full 4 iron to make those. Iron helmet, not 4 iron to make, it takes 5 iron. So already you've got a difference there. But they each protect you the same amount. But you see this? Look at my armor. So that's full iron. Let's swap that out. So this is what doesn't make sense, is you throw a chest plate on, you have 3, and right there. But you drop those out, put those on, and look, you have that and that on, and you only get 2. And this takes 1 more iron to make both of these than just making a chest plate. So why would you do that? You shouldn't make that. That's just, no, that's bad. If you've got enough iron to make that, because that's going to help you more. Even this is going to help you more. Pants is going to help you a lot more than a helmet and some boots. So I will put the specific numbers and what I calculated out to be just the best armor combinations for how much iron you have and what you should go for in the description and on the video. Just so you guys can be like, okay, there's like a little quick card. You're like, okay, I've got 13 iron. What am I going for? So just keep that in mind. Iron sword as well. Always the better deal than making like boots. So if I've only got 4 iron, I'm going to make an iron sword, and I'll have 2 iron left over instead of just making an iron, making boots and going with the stone sword. You don't do that, because iron sword is going to give you a better advantage in a fight. Okay, that's from the math that I did. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments section. Final tip for you all is just a little nifty trick in terms of taking out towers. This is also crafting, but it's more combat crafting. So let's say this in my enemy tower over here. He just chilling like that, and I'm just walking, or I'm in this little tower over here. Let's just get rid of this really quick. Okay, so I'm over here and I'm walking along, and all of a sudden, I'm like, oh man, I look in my inventory and I'm like, oh wait, I don't think I'm gonna make it. I only have 16 blocks and he's way over there. How am I gonna do it? Here's how you do it. You go right here, you take it, and you do that. Simple trick that honestly I didn't know till recently, and I would have never thought about this, but you can save the amount of blocks that it's going to take you to get from point A to point B horizontally just by making them into slabs. Because look, you just go stack, 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 just like that. And I will be able to get much farther, or twice as far, So if I've got 64 wooden, blocks to make, I can get 128 slabs, so I can go twice as far as I normally could. Now, however, if you're stacking up, because of the way these suckers stack, you're not going to be able to stack up any higher. You'll still only get, as high as the planks would have gotten you. So don't do it if you're like going up, because it's going to take you longer to tower that way. You'll just be like, trying to get up the whole time. But definitely for getting across or going horizontal, it's much better to do that. Let me know if you guys like these little tips. Hopefully some of them were new to you. If they weren't, let me know which other ones that I missed or ones that you think would be very helpful to people. Leave those in the comments section. Hope you guys liked this video, everybody. Have happy hardcore games. Enjoy the tips. Check out the blog post that I did on this. I went into a little more depth, and I'll link to that in the description for the MCPvP blog. Have happy hardcore games, everybody, and may the odds be ever in your favor. Take care.